Hi everyone, this is actually the first time I'm trying the Spellbinders Card Kit, and this one is August 2020, and the first thing I saw as a butterfly lover was these stickers, and I love them so much. So that alone had me excited for the kit. So you get stickers, papers, die cuts, envelopes, and cards. I was excited for that, so I did a card and decorated the envelopes. Dies, everything you need. Adhesive, cardstock, everything. So this is my first one from Spellbinders, and I hope you guys enjoy. For the first card, I cut a piece of navy cardstock, and this pretty gold cardstock came in the kit, so I cut a piece with the same die that I use, stitch die, so I can have that little gold at the bottom. And I'm gonna try to arrange some of these die cuts that came in the kit. Once I have the die cuts the way I would love them to be, I add some foam tape under some of the flowers just to add a little dimension, and add a little piece of black cardstock at the top of the what I would call my flower pot. So once I'm done, I use this piece of pattern paper from the kit to line the front of the card, and then I'm going to add it to my card base, decorate my envelope, and that's it for card number 1. For card number 2, I use this circle die from the kit, and I'm adding a little color using one of my distress inks, tumble glass, I'm sorry, and I'm going to create a scene on the ocean, and these dies also came from kit. I used that wave die and piece of the cardstock from the kit to create that little area of water. Cut out my boat. I use some white cardstock to add dimension, navy cardstock as the body of the ship or boat, and then some white cardstock for pattern paper from the kit for the sails of the boat. Sails of the boat, yeah. Then I add my circle to a piece of pink pattern paper from the paper pad and add it to the front of my card, and add that little compass at the top that says north, south, east, west. And then for the sentiment, this is a sticker from the kit also that says Explorer. And then I add the overseas sticker and decorated my envelope again, and that's it for card number 2. For card number 3, I started with a piece of white cardstock, which I cut with a stitched die again, and I'm adding tumbled glass again to create my sky scene. Then I cut this die in 4 colors, I'm sorry, yellow, green, brown, and a lighter brown. I want to create the sand, the trees, and the trunk of the trees. I added the piece for my sand first. Then I added my tree trunks, and then I'm gonna add the leaves for my palm trees. Before I finish the card, I will be adding a third tree, which I cut again in green and brown cardstock to finish up the scene. Then I add my entire scene to my piece of white cardstock. And as you can see, I changed my mind about the background. So I add back the pieces for the die like a puzzle. So that's why you see the yellow area and it looks like a lot of sun. Then I added this straight to my white card base. So I decorated my envelope, and that's it for card number 3. I then stamped this stamp that says, "Good friends are the key to happiness." I stamped it at the front of this piece of navy cardstock that I already used the die to cut the circle in. I stamped it with some Versamark ink, and we're going to use Simon Says stamp. Detail white embossing powder. And it's so intricate, but you can still read it with this embossing powder. So cute. As you can see, I have all that excess powder at the bottom and the top, so I'm just gonna use the brush to remove it before I heat set. Then I added a piece of white cardstock behind my circle, and then add that to this blue and white pattern paper, and I'm going to use one of the pretty butterflies again for this card. There I'm adding some foam tape to create some dimension for my card front. Decorated my envelope, and that's it for card number 5. For card number 6, I started by cutting out the side of the North and South America section of our map here. I'm just cutting around real quickly. You don't have to be perfect, and I cut also the side of Europe and Africa, which I'll use on my envelope. Then I take my North American side, and I'm going to adhere it to this piece of navy cardstock. And we're going to use some gold cardstock again, which I use the circle die to cut it out. Then I use this die cut image of the plane, and I'm adding some double-sided adhesive that came in the kit so I can adhere it to my circle. We're headed to South America for my vacay, so I use that vacay sticker, and I'm just gonna add it to the left side. Then I add this piece of pattern paper to my card front, and we're gonna add it to our card base. Decorate our envelope on the other side of the world. And that's it for card number 6. For card number 7, I added this awesome die cut to the bottom of this piece of white cardstock, which I cut with a stitch die again. And I'm only adhering the ends of the die so I can be able to add my flowers. And I'm using all these yellow flowers that came in the kit. I think they're so cute. And I leave space so that I can push them behind my sentiment. And I'm just gonna create an arrangement. Then I add this bird die cut at the top of the flowers. And then I'm going to add that to this piece of pattern paper. Then I add that to this piece of yellow pattern paper. Then we're going to add it to a card base. Decorate our envelope with one of the birds. And that's it for card number 7. For card number 8, we're creating a shaker card. Start by adhering a piece of acetate to keep all our letter sequence in. Then we're going to add some foam tape and add our sequence. We doubled up on the foam tape just by folding it in half. Once we add our sequence, I add a piece of white cardstock to the back to keep our sequence in. And then we're going to use some die cuts at the front. We have the Eiffel Tower, and I think the other building had something to do with England, so that's why I used it. Is that Big Ben? Yeah, I think that's Big Ben. So we're gonna just add those two buildings at the right, and then we're gonna add 2 die cut sentiment that came in the kit. This is London and Paris, and then I add the sentiment journey. So it says Paris journey and then London. Then I add that directly to my card base, decorating my envelope, and that's it for card number 8. For card number 9, I use this pattern paper, black and white pattern paper with all the words on there. Add it to a piece of white cardstock and a piece of black to separate them. Then I'm adding my final airplane. I'm trying to give the illusion that it's like the departure, and that's what the sentiment says. Departure, arrivals. I forgot what you call that board. Departure and arrival board? I don't know. Then I'm adding some foam tape. And we're going to add it to a piece of yellow pattern paper. And this one was pretty simple. Then we add it to our card base, decorate our envelope. And that's it for card number 9. For card number 10, we're going on a cruise. So I just added that ship. I'm using a piece of white cardstock again, which I cut with my stitch die. And I'm adding the ship first and here in the sides, because all of my stuff that I'm going to add has to do with sitting on a cruise. So I added the umbrella, drink, and the suitcase. Then I added that to this piece of pattern paper, and I'm adding the sentiment that says Bon Voyage, adding some foam adhesive to give it some dimension. Add it to my card base, decorate my decorate my envelope, and that's it for card number 10. And I wouldn't be a New Yorker if I didn't do this bonus card and used the taxis. So I started with a navy piece of cardstock, and I used my white gel pen to create the illusion of a street. And first I'm going to add a little color at the top of this piece of white cardstock to create my sky. And then I'm going to add my little street. Look cute. Again, I adhere just the bottom and the sides so I can add my buildings. Of course, New York has a lot of tall buildings. So I create a scene with a bunch of buildings. Some are flat and a few are, some I add foam adhesive to add some dimension. Once I finish with my buildings, I'm adding the taxis. 2 of them are adhesives. Die cuts. So I just add glue to them. The third one is actually a sticker, and it's a little thicker. So that's going to go right here. And then I'm going to cut that little part of the cab at the end. And then I'm put it at the front, so it has the illusion that there's a cab in front of the third one. And that is kind of cool. I learned to use my little extra stuff in most of my videos. And then we're going to add our sentiment. There was a piece of die cut that said adventure and then New York, so I adhere them together on a piece of black cardstock so I could frame the sentiment, and it says New York Adventure. I'm gonna adhere it to this blue piece of pattern paper, add it to my card base, and that's it for the bonus card. And I want to say I enjoyed doing this card kit. Like I said, it's the first time I'm trying Spellbinders, and I had to say I liked it. And hopefully next month I'll have another one. And there's my envelope. I want to thank you guys for watching the video, and give it a thumbs up if you like, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not yet. And I'll see you guys again in the next video. Bye.